Hey guys, welcome back to another Surgical Tech Tips. Today's video is going to be part 2 of the schooling video. I've got some extra content talking with the students and asking them, some common questions that I see thrown around in the comment section on a lot of the videos on YouTube. So, hope you enjoy. So this last segment of the video, I really wanted to touch on a lot of common questions that I get from, high school students out there, or people that are just interested in surgical technology and going into a potential program in their state or country, wherever you are. One of the most common questions is, what's the difference between getting an associate's degree and just getting a diploma and certification? I'll have him break down, the main differences, and then I'll kind of touch on a couple of things too.
So, I think the biggest difference is a degree program is going to be longer. Usually, what you'll find around the country are 2-year associate's degree programs. So what happens is, usually that student will sign up, and in that first year, they're going to complete English, communications, humanities, however many credits. That's kind of the degree side of the thing, of our associate degree side. That might take a year, it might take a year and a half, it might take 2 years, it could take a long time, but that's the associate's degree side of things. Once you complete that, then you come into the 1 year of focused surgical technology courses, which is what we do in here. So if everything goes correctly, it's 2 years, and you come out with an associate's degree. But I think that's the main difference, is the length.
And I can say, for those of you out there that are like, well, why would I put the extra time in to get an associate's degree? And I can tell you that it's better for your future. If I was smarter back when I went to school, I would have gone to an associate's degree program. It kind of future-proofs yourself. Eventually this position might become like an associate's degree only position, and certain hospitals may not be able to hire you if you don't have a degree. I'm not saying it's like that now, but it could happen some point in the future. Another thing is, if you want to move on to other things aside from surgical technology, if you want to become like a medical sales rep or something like that, you need a degree to be able to be in those types of positions. Usually bachelor's, but at least you're one step forward and you already have your associate's degree, and it won't be that much more to get a bachelor's. Nursing, you can move on to nursing again, more education. Multiple avenues. Hospital administration. I have a tech that I work with right now that's going through hospital administration. It's something you can do if you're interested in that, and you would not be able to normally take that avenue if you just have a diploma. Well, technically you would still be able to take that avenue. It would just take a lot longer, because you would have to get all that schooling all over again. It wouldn't feel as much of a waste.
I think of it kind of like a bank account. If you get your associate's degree and you graduate and you scrub for the next 10, 20 years, and life is wonderful and you love it, that's awesome. But you have those associate's degree credits with you, and you take them to pretty much any school. So it's like you have them in your account. So if you decide to, what he just said, be a rep, be an administrator, you don't have to start from the beginning.
All right, let's do some more questions with some of these. So, when I was there with Chris, I forgot to talk about, certificate programs. And I just wanted to take a minute to talk about certificate programs, because I personally went through a certificate program and a career school. My program was, I believe it was 18 months. Some can be 16, 15, 14, all the way I've seen as low as 10 months for a certificate degree program. Basically what these certificate degree programs are it's kind of like a fast track into the career. So it's a lot of information in a small amount of time. So you have to be really focused on getting through schooling. And it's it kind of puts you on a fast track to get to your career as quickly as possible. Now, they can be more expensive because a lot of these schools are privately owned. So a lot of these schools will cost more money than a college to actually get a degree, surprisingly enough. But the education that you receive is still just as good. I went through all the anatomy and physiology, surgical procedures, microbiology, all sorts of in-depth things as far as the curriculum went. Instrumentation, mock surgery rooms, externships, everything is all exactly the same. It's just when you sign up for a certificate degree or a certificate school, you're really just focusing solely on the position at hand. So you're not doing like math, you're not doing social studies, you're not doing any of those, core classes that you would have to do in a degree program. Kind of like, what Chris was saying. The main difference is Chris kind of touched on it already, where it's just time. 10 to 16 months versus two plus years for a degree program. So my advice to you, if you're thinking about either one of these, these segues towards schooling, is really think about your future and what you want out of it. If you need to start making money immediately, right out of the box, if you're hurting for some coin and you need to get into a job and a solid career quickly, then a career school will get you there the quickest. A degree program will take you a little longer. But if you want to solidify your future in medicine and quite possibly move on to bigger things and already have a step ahead as far as education goes, then going the degree route will be the better bet. I want to put one more thing to rest, and that is the pay. There is no difference in pay between the two education types. Pay is based on your experience, and more specifically your year's experience in the field. That goes for nursing and for techs in the OR and just in hospitals in general. Hospitals pay based on your experience in the field. Simple as that. All right, let's get back to it. All right, let's do some more questions with some of these students. So I have some questions. Again, I was talking about how I get a lot of questions related to school and schooling. So I wanted to pose some of these questions to the students themselves. And another one of the most common questions is, how hard is it?
Hard.
It's very challenging.
Yeah.
A lot of memorization.
How many hours do you think you study a week?
I can get 10 to 15 and I'm happy.
Oh my gosh, I'm like 25, I think.
You remember, I work full time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is possible to school full time and work full time. Just say goodbye to your sleep schedule.
No
It
sleep.
is. And I kind of say, to some of those people, like, yeah, it's hard. It's school. It's going to be hard. It's education. It's going to be challenging, and it's challenging you. But if you have like a general interest, like a good solid interest in this field and in medicine, in anatomy, all that type of stuff, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love every single minute of it. Sometimes it's a bit cumbersome, all the memorization and stuff like that, because a lot of anatomy and physiology it's a lot of memorization, sutures, stuff like that. But if you have a general and good interest in the field, it won't feel as hard. Another question I get a lot is whether or not you can handle having a job while going to school and doing this, having like a full-time school and job at the same time. And she is actually completing that right now.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot of work. I don't sleep very much. Pretty much no social life anymore. It's just any free time, studying, sleeping, playing catch up for the week.
yeah.
But it is doable. I'm just very sleep deprived. If I can get 4 hours a night, I'm happy.
Yeah. I was fortunate that I did not have to have a full-time job while I went to school. I had a full-time job through the curriculum, and then when it came to like externship and stuff like that, it was just, I just quit my job, and for the following 6 months I was just, full on school. But for FA school for me, I was full-time as a surgical tech, and then in the evenings I would be studying and reading and taking tests and all that stuff throughout the week. So I can say time management is, bar none, one of the most important things that you can learn if you're going to be a full-time student and have a full-time job on the side. So another question I get a lot is kind of like the application process to get into schools. You guys had to kind of apply and do like an interview to come into the program.
Yeah.
What was that like?
And we didn't have an interview. We had a lot of paperwork to do. I felt like I had to jump through hoops trying just to, it's like, oh, are you smart enough to actually apply?
Yeah.
Because you gotta be smart enough to apply before you can even get in.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the dexterity test.
Oh, that was fun. I did
Dexterity
that
test.
twice.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was that?
Little pegs and your fine motor skills. Picking up
really?
little tools with tweezers and.
I forgot about that actually.
See, I feel if you play video games, you have a huge advantage.
Wow. Interesting.
I
Yeah.
would say knowing the procedures, like we have to know them. I had no idea. Did you know like you had to basically know every step of a surgery?
No, I didn't know
Not
they were
every
going
step,
in. No, pretty
just
much.
like assist the surgeon. And I feel like you need to have eyes everywhere. Your table, yourself, the surgeon, everyone else around you. It's like,
Yeah.
I wish I had like spider eyes.
You're kind of like the eagle eye in the room. You're kind of watching over everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Environment, yourself, just everybody in person, patient, while you're trying to watch the steps of the surgery to keep up with the surgeon.
Yeah. So they brought up that they didn't, realize that the curriculum was going to be that in-depth into the surgical procedures themselves. So we kind of touched on that when we talked about the curriculum, but it is absolutely important. If you want to be able to anticipate a surgeon's needs throughout the procedure, you need to know exactly what he or she is doing throughout that procedure. That's 100% the job. Absolutely.
And know what they want before they know they want it.
You'll get there.
We're mind readers too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wants to
Okay. Some final thoughts. Some final thoughts.
And I think it's a good field too if you still want to be in the medical field and not have that intense patient reaction like nurses have. Like you kind of like step back from that.
Yeah.
And I take that solely from being experienced with a CNA. I love my medication, but at some point, please stop calling me.
Yeah. We're fortunate enough to work with patients while they're asleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still know they're there, but they're not hitting that call light every 2 seconds.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to touch on? About schooling in general, like what's your experience been in school, thus far, going through
Like-
this program? And
Well, I think general education courses, you can adapt to this.
Yeah.
These courses, you have to kind of just.
Indulge
It's way
yourself.
more. It's
'Cause it's,
harder.
like,
more
super
complicated,
specific, and this
then
is-
you
yeah.
have to. If you expect a certain grade, you're not going to get what you expect, and you have to really.
yeah.
I think we
Focus.
all know though that this is what we want and we're pushing hard and we're all doing really well. So.
Absolutely.
That's the most important part, is to make sure that you have that drive and that that keeps you going.
And then going through the procedures, it really helps, like, what you might want to specialize in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just ready for some blood.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again on the next video.